It's the grandson of Right Thought. Welcome to the School of Marvelous Light, little flock. We ain't seen them loose dogs in a while. They used to be on every video. Every time I'm walking around in this area, them dogs be running around. I ain't seen them in a while, but there they go over there. I see the pit bull over there running around. Can y'all see him? He running around. I think he just happy to be free, y'all. I got the stick just in case. But turn in your Bibles to John. I'm sorry. I was looking at a few other scriptures there. The book of John, chapter 4. Now, I posted this scripture in a community post earlier, and I asked a few questions in association with that scripture. The reason why I'm asking this is because this is a form of separating the wheat from the tares. You understand, little flock? Yep. Pit bull?
He a bully, but he's not the red one, though. He got a collar.
Tan? He tan?
Tan.
Yep, he right there. He just went in that gate. Oh, that's my man's dog. Right down there where I was showing y'all. It's another dog in there too. It's another dog in there, so watch out. Okay. So y'all, back to what we was talking about. John chapter 4. We'll start at verse 21. He got him back, y'all. John chapter 4, starting at verse 21. Yahushua saith unto her, Woman, believe me, the hour comes when you shall neither in this mountain nor yet at Jerusalem worship the Father. So he's speaking to a Samaritan woman, right? Who I told you are also Israelites, even though they weren't dealing with each other. That's why she was so shocked that Yahushua was talking to her. She's like, you being a Jew speaking to me and a Samaritan? Jews have no dealings with Samaritans. That's the problem, you see, because we're one people. And see, that's the two people that's within you. This is what we all must understand. The northern and southern kingdoms of Israel are represented here in this conversation that we're reading. You see that? And there has to be peace made between those two, the Jew and the Gentile, the Jew and the Samaritan, the northern and the southern kingdoms of Israel. You see that there, little flockulators? Because they are one indeed. But there's something that causes enmity between the two. And that enmity is caused because one side is over righteous. Now, between the two, which one do you think that is, little flock? That would be Jerusalem. That would be the Jews. That would be the southern kingdom. You see, over righteous side. And then you have the other side of, which is the northern kingdom of Israel, you see, which would be considered the over wicked side of the body. You see that? That's why the Jews considered the Samaritans unclean. The Jews considered themselves to be clean, correct, little flock? So then what do you think their problem is with the Samaritan? See, it's their uncleanness. They're over wicked. And then the Samaritan is saying, well, you guys are over righteous. You guys are going too far. Yahushua come to make peace between those two. Because like I said, those two same two things are within us. And that's why we read in the scripture, do not be over righteous much and do not be over wicked much. Or you're going to have a divided kingdom if you do that. You see, we want a unified kingdom in Yahushua. So that's what he's doing here. That's why they're having this conversation. You see, and that's why he's clarifying these things to her. He says, it doesn't matter in this mountain or in Jerusalem. It's going to come a time when the true worshipers, as we're going to find out here, don't worship in those places. You see, let's see what he says. When you shall neither in this mountain nor yet at Jerusalem worship the Father. You worship, you know not what. See? So you don't know and understand what you're worshiping. You see that there? For salvation is of the Jews. You see? But the hour cometh, and now is, when the true worshipers shall worship the Father in spirit and in truth. For the Father seeketh such to worship him. God is a spirit, and they that worship him must, does it say there, little flock? Must worship him in spirit and in truth. So do you see why the grandson of Right Thought was saying, I need you guys all to understand what it means to worship the Father in spirit and in truth? You must know what it means, because what does it say here? It says, they that worship him must do it that way. So then if there is a true way to do it, then there's also a false worship. You see it, little flock? So what do you think? Can you give me any examples of false worship to the Father? What were the Jews doing? Well, ask Yahusha, because he'll tell you. He said, they indeed appear what? Outwardly righteous unto men. So see how he's saying that, little flock? I need you to hear it. They indeed appear outwardly righteous. See that? But they are in error. But he wants you to know that it looks like they're not. You need to know that. You see that, little flockulators? Because you need to know how, you need to be able to discern between a true worshiper and a false. And if you do not understand the false judgment that men have been under for so long, if you don't know it and have not come out of it, then you will fall subject and you will fall prey to being deceived, which is what we don't want. That's why we're called the School of Marvelous Light. When the light is on, everything is exposed for what it is so that it can't hide. You see that, little flock? There's no corner. There's no shadow. See? That's what we want your life to be. Completely bare to you so that you can respond to it the correct way. You see that? Because your response comes from what you think and feel internally. Your body will not move until you think and feel a thing. Baby, don't touch the stove. Why, mother? Because it's hot and they will get burnt. So there's another way that the baby could learn that lesson without you teaching them. The baby could reach their hand forth and get burnt. And they'll snatch their hand away and scream and holler and cry and say, in their own mind will go, I'm not touching that thing anymore. I won't do that anymore. Don't touch that. Do not touch that. See that, little flock? It becomes a law to that child. You see? But look how they learned it. Isn't that interesting? Look how they learned it. Through some type of pain, some type of suffering, but you learned it and you learned it good. So then why is there a thing called a chastening rod to chasten your child? Because to cause pain. Because through the pain, then the child will learn what not to do. See it? Because that's how they learn. I proved it with the stove. The majority of what your child is going to learn, it doesn't matter what you're saying to them, the majority of what they learn is going to be because of that exact experience, pain. And there are some things that your child will not learn from you. They will learn from enduring a painful circumstance. Because that is Abba's chastening rod. It's suffering. That's why it's written, if you suffer with me, then you shall reign with me. But part of the process is the suffering. You see? You see it? When you become an austere man and you go out into the world, people didn't see all the things that your father put you through before you were out there. Another example of this is the Marine standing there in his, in his uniform with the hat and everything, with the gloves and all that shit, looking all crisp and clean and all austere and shit. But you didn't see him when his snot was coming all of his nose and everything when he was in boot camp and they put the gas and the nigga was throwing up and everything because he didn't have his gas mask on right and shit while he was training. You didn't see all that part. In other words, you didn't see the pain, but it took pain for him to stand there with that uniform on, didn't it? It always does, you see, because that's the process of growth. You see it? And so it is with us here. We go through a furnace of affliction so that we can become a new creature. The old is burned away and it reveals a new. You see, and my brother Chuck spoke about this in my community post. He answered the question with a very great response, that it's about shedding off the old mind and being transformed and getting the new mind, which is the spirit. So that now that you have the spirit, now you actually can see the ones who think they are worshipers, who are not true. You see it, little flock, and that makes you powerful to know that. It makes your anxiety level drop way down when you know that. And you need your anxiety level dropped so that you can remain in a peaceful city, so that you don't need to go to Jerusalem to feel safe, a physical location. You can produce Jerusalem from the inside of yourself, because that's where the kingdom is, according to Yahusha. See that, little flockulators? That's where the kingdom is, according to Yahusha. So now, he says, the true worshipers. And so now that we know that there are true, and we know that they are doing it in spirit, you see, that is how they worship. If you don't know what that means, then how in the hell are you doing it? Like I said, you got the lenses now that allow you to see the false, because we need to identify the false so that you can see it and you don't get deceived by it. And I'm going to tell you something, little flock. It ain't hard to spot the false. We are not ignorant of his devices. He uses outward appearance. And why does he? Ask your father why he does that. Because your father said, men judge outward appearance. So judge means to say whether something is good, something is bad, whether something is useful or useless. You could pick something off the ground. It's a diamond. You don't know that. All you ever heard of were rhinestones. You thought it was a rhinestone when you picked it up. So you said, these things are so cheap and not worth anything. So you tossed it. See what I'm trying to explain? See what I'm trying to explain? When you can recognize something for what it is, then you can get the value. Knowledge is the value. So that's what we were told, the greater riches to get. So watch this. There are two riches available to you. I've already told you guys what they are. One is earthly gain, monetary riches, and the other is wisdom and understanding. Okay, that's the two choices. Now, every man is going to get one of the other. You see that? They're going to get one of the other. If their mind is set on getting, they're going to get one or the other. So with all you're getting, see what I'm saying? Wisdom is the principal thing. Don't you see it? Don't you see it? So there's two choices between which you can choose. Well, if you're spiritually minded, you will choose the wisdom, because only a spiritually minded man would value wisdom over earthly riches. And the only way he would know that wisdom was way more valuable than riches is he read God's word that told him that. So the true riches is God's word, because to a man, riches is to sustain his life. That's what he garners riches for, so that he can eat to sustain himself. So we call it bread. Well, man don't only live by one kind of bread. See? Man don't only live by bread, by money, by dollars. That's not the only way he lived. But he lived by every word that proceeded out of the mouth of the Father. So if you don't know every word that come out of the Father, then you have substituted those words for paper riches. See how it's working? Money is a defense. Wisdom is a defense. There's always going to be two worlds at play there, because it's two minds at play. And only one thing appeals to one mind. Wisdom does not appeal to the carnal mind. Why? Because how many women have come forward on any type of show that these young men are watching, these pop balloon challenges and all this shit? How many women have stepped forward and said, I want him because he's so wise? How many women have done that? How many women in high school said, I pick you because you're wiser than the other ones? How many women in school did that? But what did you see? Let's make it easy for them, little flockulators, because that's what we do when the light is on. It ain't hard to see nothing. So what do you see in the world? Women flock to men who have wisdom, or women flock to men who have earthly riches. Which one do you see happen? Which one do you see a woman ask a man about? How wise are you? Or how rich are you? How much do you make a year? Which one? Because there's only two, like I've been establishing here. There's only two things that are valuable to a person's mind. It's either earthly gain in getting, or it's wisdom in getting. More of that. See? You see it? And you must invest either one to make more of it. So how do you invest money? You put it in the bank or you get on the stock market. It's easy for you guys to understand how you make more out of what you got. Well, how do you do that with wisdom? You invest it by giving it to the exchangers. In other words, speaking to people about what you have learned. If you speak and share the wisdom God has given you, he will give you more to share because he sees that you are a cheerful giver of what you have been given. Do you hear the grandson breaking it down to you today? Okay? Okay? Don't give me Skeely Dean and singing that song that y'all love so much. Y'all like sing it, grandson. Say, okay. Skeely, can you understand me? Cause I make that shit clear, so crystal clearly. So do you hear the grandson the right thought of what he's telling you today? That verse that we just read, with Yahushua's words, he's telling you that there are false worshipers, and he was dealing with them. He called them hypocrites. You think you worship God because your clothes look good. See how I'm doing it, little flock? I'm showing you. So then what that mean you need to do when you go in the world? Look out for niggas that say they coming in God's name or in Yahushua's name and they dressed in nice soft apparel. Be careful. It doesn't mean that he's false. It just means you need to beware. Your spidey senses need to go up when you see somebody coming in goodly apparel talking about, yes, Yahushua has sent me. You sure? Are you sure? It's time to test the spirit. See, it's time to test that spirit and see. And how do you test the spirit? Well, one good way that you can is to see if what they're doing line up with Yahushua say to do. And it don't mean characteristics. It means, what is he actually doing? Because Yahushua said there are things that you have to do. Take no thought. People think that's a suggestion. We accept that as a commandment of the new covenant. The new covenant is consistent of people who do not take thought of what they eat or drink, because the establisher of the new covenant gave that out of his mouth. See? You see? And now that he pointed out that other world, it make it clear and easy which one I'm not of. I'm not of the outward appearance world that come up with glitz and glamour to make that appeal to you. You just want to see how good I'm going to look on the next video. You just want to see what new outfit I'm going to pull out for the next video. You just want to see what new moose knuckle coat I got to wear on the next video. You just want to see the hat that I'm going to wear. You just want to see the glasses that I'm going to be wearing this time. You just want to see what kind of different jewelry that I'm going to be wearing this time. You just want to see if I'm going to have a nice pair of Air Force Ones on this time, or some new Jordans on this time, or some new Timberlands on this time, or some new Rockports or something this time. So all you guys think about when you're looking at people online, you don't look at the heart. And how do I know you don't? Because y'all flock after them as fans, and then when they fall, you all guys go, I knew it. I knew that guy wasn't shit, man. Well, then why the hell were you supporting them and a fan of them before, if you knew they weren't shit? And you'll never tell the truth that it was something outward is the reason why you were the fan. Look, let's just break it down for people since they don't seem to understand it. People are getting out here, watching videos that people make. And the reason they watch the videos that the people make, the reason the men are watching it, is because the man has a girlfriend or a wife that looks good. I just want y'all to hear how that sounds real quick. I know it's normal in y'all world. See, I'm not of y'all world. That's why it ain't normal to me. But I understand that it's normal in y'all world. Y'all got OnlyFans and stuff in y'all world, don't you? See? See what I mean? So it's always about making something look good to people so that you can get riches from them. That's what that world is based on. It don't matter what profession, it doesn't matter what field it is. That's what it's about. If a salesman don't look good when he goes to make his sales pitch, he will be denied. But he will sell more if he looks better and has on more expensive things and drives a more expensive car when he pulls up and he looks the part more. And the part just means you look like you got a lot of money. Then it doesn't matter what field you're in. Then it doesn't matter what you do for a living. If you have a lot of money doing it, people are going to respect you. It's just that simple. Y'all like that word? It's just that simple. All right? Now, don't steal that shit and go around talking about y'all niggas don't understand this new word I came up with because the grandson came up with that. These people out here simple. Y'all hear me? So look, there's two worlds going on. And like I said, once you know the one world, it make it easy to see who's real and who's not. I know what Yahusha said. So now I don't have to do anything outside of myself to prove whether I follow him or not. It's a matter of a change in my mind, isn't it? Isn't it? So then if my mind is changed, then my hand will change. If my mind is changed, then my right hand will change. That means if I change what I do inside my mind, then what I do with my hand, or in other words, what I do physically will change. What did Christ say? If you clean the inside of the cup, then the outside shall be clean also. The outside is what people see you do. It will actually be clean, even though to the world it will look like leprosy. How do I know that? Because when Moses was picked, he was told, Moses, put your hand in your garment. Little flockulators know what this means. And he pulled it out, and it was leprous as snow. And then he put it back in his bosom, and when he pulled it out, it returned as his normal flesh. Y'all hear that today? Okay, it rained earlier, and there's a little wormy there. Y'all see him? He's stuck on the dry pavement. And he gonna dry out and die unless we put him back in the wet grass. So we gonna do him a favor. There's a little robin up there on a tree like, no, I was waiting for you to leave so I could get that guy. Damn. My bad, dude. My bad, dude. The Son of Man came to save life. I'm sorry. Maybe I'll have to save yours one day. It's a cat sitting right down over there. Looking like a cat. Yeah, literally, there's a cat right there, man. So y'all hear this today? When you see it and you know it, you go, wait a minute, okay. Outward appearance. Niggas looking good. Girls trying to look good so that I'll spend some money. Preachers, that means, are trying to look good so that I can send them some money. Movie stars want to look good so I can send them my money. Everybody want to look good so that I can send them my money. But if I stop judging as man judges, now I have to judge another way because there's only one other world. See that? What did I tell you guys? Didn't I tell you it was a cat right there? Hi, kitty. Hi, kitty, kitty. Told you. Look at the Robin. You like, ooh, he was right. Dang, you saved both of us. Yeah, I told you. Saved both of you. Saved the cat from the dog. Y'all see that down? All right. we got a dog, a cat, a bird, and a worm. Man, circle of life. So that's what I'm saying, y'all. That's all that they do. So then once you know that device, then you say, okay, well, who are the true? The true are the ones who have cleaned the inside of the cup. See? They have done the weightier matter. And the weightier matter is what goes on inside your heart. Yahusha showed that with the adultery. See? He said, if a man commit adultery in his heart, then he have already done it. See what I mean? What did I say earlier? Watch this, guys. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this leg sweep I'm going to do. To all the little enemies that thought something was about to happen here. Ain't nothing about to happen. We're going to foot sweep you when you run up. What did I say? If you think in your mind about something, then you will take your hand and do it. So what should you focus on first? Your hand or your mind? What do you think you should focus on first? Yahusha showed all of you guys what you need to focus on first. The inside of the cup and platter. But you guys clean the outside. Well, I'm just quoting my daddy. The outside of the cup and platter. But the inside is full of excess and extortion. That means you want to get something from out of people. So you color up the outside of your cup like I told you the woman does when she paints her face up. She just got done crying, got bags under her eyes, but she got to make $5,000 more. So she paints her face back up, puts her lipstick on, spreads her legs on OnlyFans, and listens to her bank go ka-clink, 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 ka-clink because of what somebody has saw. They could not do nothing with their hand until they saw and conceived in their mind something, and then their hand stretched forth to give that woman what she wanted, which was she extorted you. She extorted you, and there ain't no limiter on that extortion. She will extort you and extort you and extort you to excess. But the outside is beautiful when you look at her. She look like a beautiful girl. So then that's the same trick that the false priests use, the false worshipers use, the false that use, and the false this use, and the false them use, and the false her uses, and the false him use. The falsities use that outward appearance. I came in here with a white coat on, with a stethoscope around my neck, and I talked like how the grandson is talking right now. And because I was walking and talking like that, you believed me when I told you my name is Dr. Schwarzkopf. And then you let me right on in. There isn't anything else that I can do to deceive you other than to use those tactics. So this is how silly it is for people not to know it. It's not a bunch of other tactics. Deceiver is not scary. It's not even terrifying. It's just slick. That's it. See what I'm saying to you? Once you have the eyes that can see, once you have given up the carnal mind in exchange for the spiritual, in other words, you've given up monetary chasing, your mind's set on that because that causes you to start moving, see? To spiritual gain, which causes you to sit still. Now look at what God said about Esau and Jacob and see if that line up with what the grandson of right thought just told you. They're like Legos. Esau was a mighty hunter, or Esau was a hunter of the field, a man of the field outside doing shit. Jacob was a plain man dwelling in his tent, staying home, not doing nothing, being peace, be still. Yahushua was that same plain man, sleep on that boat, while those other men were running around panicking. See what I'm saying to you, little flockulators? I told you it link up like Legos and it clicked together. You can't even get any light in between the two Legos. You're like, gosh, grandson, you sure stack it up nice. That's right, because I slice and I dice and I stack that shit up nice. I slice and I dice and I stack that shit up nice. I slice and I dice. Y'all hear me today? It's just what it is. Just what it is. There isn't any other tactic. There isn't any other strategy. See, there isn't anything else. It doesn't matter if it's that woman. It doesn't matter if it's that doctor. It doesn't matter if it's a politician. Look how easy it is to pull the rug and foot sweep these niggas like I always tell you guys to do. You don't have to be afraid. You have the spirit of power and might. They don't. All they have is the false, see, power of illusion. I want to train you to believe something is what this looks like. And then once you have been so deceived into thinking that that thing is this what it looks like, now I'm going to appear like that to you. Now that the brainwashing is all in there. Sounds like the Antichrist. Sounds like anybody that wants to fool you. See? That's all he does. Think about the image he has painted up and the illusion he has tried to sell to the people for a long ass time. That's all preparation to physically see that nigga. So what is the false illusion of holiness? What have they sold you all? What do they say outward appearance of righteousness is? What do they say in the world? And then you see that the Jews of his time couldn't see it either when he came in on Jerusalem. It's called the triumphal entry because the king has now come home. But did they notice it? Did they recognize him as such? No. And why? Because he was lowly and because he did not look the way they thought that he should. Why should a king ride in on a simple jackass? How is that regal? How is that royal? Because you don't know the heart that's pumping inside of that jackass, buddy. He can carry a whole, large, heavy load for a long-ass time through treacherous circumstances for you. Even though he's a little stubborn. But if you get him on track, he'll do it for you. You can heavy burden him and he'll carry it for you. So he got a lot of heart. That's why I'm riding in on him. But y'all don't know that. So y'all can't see true value, nigga. You can't see it. Not only do I want a donkey full of heart, I want my brother full of heart next to me. I want my sister full of heart next to me, full of zeal and passion for I am. And will not give that authority or that power over to another. And we stand on our 10 and we stand together with our elbows locked together and we hold our arms up and we support one another like Moses and Aaron and who's the other, y'all? Slipping my mind right now. Her, was it? Supported his arms as he held that staff, and the people prevailed because they supported one another. Brotherly love will always win in the end. So then why do you listen to them sneak in your life and infiltrate your mind to convince you that there's something better than your brother next to you? There's nothing more valuable than him. Ask God. Ask God and see. Yahusha made it clear to you all. So maybe I need to make it a little bit more clearer. Let me get my Windex bottle here. Yahusha said what? What'd he say? Like, what you saying, grandson? What did Yahusha say? I am come to make the Father known. And I have made him known. See that there? What did Moses say the Father's name was? So then what was Yahusha making known to the people? Where the power source was. What is the grandson making you see? The power is in you knowing some shit. Because if you don't know, then guess what? You're destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because like I said, do you know the truth of that donkey that Yahusha was riding on? Or do you just see a little simple donk? A little donkey just sitting there chilling. Which one do you see? But y'all judge outward appearance, so you don't see the heart of the matter. I do. I see it. I see the perseverance, the endurance that you was talking about. I see it clear as day. But do they see it? And why? How come they can't see it? Because they don't look at the heart. If I'm showing you something on a map and I ask you, do you see it? And you're not looking at the map, you're looking somewhere else, then guess what, guys? Then guess what? You're not going to know what I'm talking about. You can say you see it all you want to say that, but you don't actually see shit because you ain't looking at it. See what I'm saying, little flockulators? You got to look at it in order to see it. And you won't know the value until you put it to the test. See? Because watch this, little flock. If you do something and you use monetary value to get you out of that something, then you're going to feel strong and powerful. Now just listen closely what the grandson's going to say here. In other words, let's say you had a lot of money. So you got into some kind of legal trouble. And you were supposed to go to prison for what you did. But because of you having this money, you were able to cut a deal. And they said, if you pay us $100,000, we'll forget this crime ever happened. We'll settle out of court. You see, rich people do it all the time. So you settle. And because you settle and you feel like the coast is clear, then you feel like you have done a good thing and you were powerful for being able to do such a thing. You see? But then eventually you do some crime and then you find out, wait a minute, I'll just pay my way out of it. But this time you can't pay. You have to do the crime. You have to do the time for the crime. You see that, little flock? You can't pay your way out of it this time. So now you have just found out that your money was limited. Damn, it was limited. Now, let's say you're the same man. You have a whole lot of money. You get into a crime the first time, but you know a different way, which is wisdom. You know how to use wisdom to set yourself free. So now you go to prison for the crime, but yet you know how to use wisdom and you get free. You see that? Somehow or another, through your wisdom, you get free. So then you find out, wait a minute, through knowledge and wisdom, I was able to set myself free without using the money. So wait a minute here. You go some more time, you get arrested again, just like the other guy did. And they say there's no bond, there's no money you can pay. You're just going to do the time. But he has already learned through the first experience that he cannot be held through wisdom. He knows it, knowledge. So now he's no longer destroyed. When they tell him whatever news they tell him, don't you see where the power is there? The news is coming to you from where? Outside of your ears. But there's something inside of you that can block that. It's called faith. The substance of what I hope for, even though there isn't any evidence. You're telling me evidence. Go to court and see what they talk about to convict you. They're looking for evidence. You're looking for something that doesn't have any evidence. One's using wisdom and one's using sight. That's why the scripture says there's only two ways you can walk. When you walk, what do you use? You use your eyeballs on your damn head, don't you? All right, then. So there's only one alternative to that type of seeing. It's walking by faith. See it there? So now, outward appearance requires you to use what kind of eyes that we just discussed? The faith pair or the walking by sight pair? The walking by sight. See how it line up with that left side of living? See how it's connected? You judge outward appearance. That's one click against them on the left side. That's wrong. So they're doing it wrong. You judge after the flesh. That's two strikes against them. You do all that you do to be seen of men. That's three strikes against them. You indeed appear outwardly righteous unto men. That's four strikes against eyes and outward appearance. And you guys are telling me that that's not what it is that you're warring against every day. I'm proving to you that it is. So I'm proving to you what team I'm on, and I'm proving to you what world I'm from. Because if you do not think that there is more than one world, then you haven't studied to show yourself approved. I'll help you find it. Go to Hebrews, it's right there in the beginning. Start at chapter 1 and start reading. And then you'll see that Abba made more than one world. Even though he had already told you that when Rebecca got pregnant, he had already told you there was two worlds in there. And the old one is passing away. It is also written. So then if that world passes away, there's a new one being birthed. And I'm telling y'all that. You think the ensign that the Bible talked about would not announce the birthing of the kingdom? Are you serious? Well, then why is he an ensign? And who else would do it? Now, the point is, if I'm not the ensign and I'm not the one to announce it, then how come I know so much about it? How come I can descriptively describe the difference? Because I know it. And like I said, I've already been that wise man that have been delivered out of every circumstance by this wisdom I have attained. So then I figured out that that's a key that opens and closes doors that Revelation was talking about. I'm living my life with the key in my pocket. I try to share it with all the children, whether they were here or forbear. It's not up to me. I just go along sharing it because freely I have been given that key, so freely I share it. You see? You see? A good teammate doesn't want his team to be wore down from doing heavy work. He will pick up the slack. He will do the extra work because that's what his master taught him to be, a hard worker. See, when a man asks you to go 1 mile with him, go 2. People in the world think that is not hard labor. They think what hard labor is going to work and working 11 hours for a paycheck. That man on that road, did he benefit from you working 11 hours and earning a paycheck? Did that man benefit from that? No, he didn't. No, he didn't. But if you went 2 miles with him, would he have benefited? Yes, he would. So then you would have did a better labor. There are 2 types. I keep telling you that. It's the labor that you do that you have looked at by sight and think that that's the right thing. You've looked at the numbers. You've looked at the outcome and you saw that it was good for you. And so you did it. And then there's another man who doesn't look at numbers. He doesn't look at outcomes because he is not worshiping that God. He worshiped the God of Abraham. Abraham is a man that's known for faith, patiently waiting for something that looks impossible. That's the point that y'all seem to miss, that it looks impossible part. So if it looks impossible, why would he think that it is? Because that's what faith is. So the more impossible it looks, the greater your faith must be. Mm, mm, mm. See? See? Oh, it's a storm right here, Yahusha. We're all gonna die. Peace be still. How the hell did you do that? What kind of man are you? And then it says they worshiped him. Back to that word worship. You see? In other words, how did you do that? How did you get that power? Teach me how. Show me. Submit yourself to him as better than you. That's actually what it means. That's what that woman had to do when she said, Yahusha, help me, help me. He said, it's not right to give the children's bread to no dog. Right, Lord. But even the dogs eat the crumbs that fall from the master's table. Yeah, you're right about that. So go ahead and have what you asked for. Now that you said something that was right, you've actually submitted yourself to the proper authority, the proper head. See that little flock? See it? But see, men have this ego where they don't want to submit to another's thoughts. Anyone, even if it's Yahusha's. They love to seem as though they have done something that has not been done. Well, there was a man who was more wiser than all the men on earth. The Bible made that clear. His name was Solomon, and he said it was all vanity. But y'all don't seem to understand that. He used his wisdom to find out what your getting was going to do for you. And he said, in all my getting, I found out that it was vexation. And what do you call it? Labor and vanity. That's what he called it. So go ahead and get and get deceived, because you're going to get that too. People in this world are so worried about getting a disease that they get deceived and end up with a disease. Ain't that some shit? They're so scared to catch a disease that they get deceived. Didn't the whole wide world, y'all? Didn't they? Thinking that they're doing something to help them not get a disease, they got deceived. See? Because they didn't listen to Yahusha. The man seek to save his life, he'll lose it. Hey, I'm doing this to stay healthy and to save my life. Then who do you serve? Jesus Christ! Many there shall be. You didn't judge the heart of the person who offering you this. How come y'all don't judge the heart of the offerer? As if Satan doesn't offer you things. He offered Yahusha shit, and yet you think he's not going to offer you anything? So then why do y'all act like the offerer is a good guy? Why do y'all act like the salesman is a good guy when the salesman is more concerned with his shoes and his tie and his haircut, so that then you'll give him your money and his sound of his talking? Look at the Wolf of Wall Street. Remember we were talking about hunters being a wolf, getting that bag. Look at him. It's all about being dressed good, driving nice cars, drinking the best champagne, having the best badass women, snorting the best cocaine, having the best fucking party. That's why I'm chasing after all this money, so I can get, and live this fast high life. Isn't that what it was about? Because it looks good to everybody in the world. So he keeps offering you that. He just keeps offering it to you. So then why would you sit up here and look at another man who's barefoot and see what he's offering you? Because of outward appearance. That's why. The Bible already said that's why. That's why God made him look the way that he do. See? He did the same thing to me. Here, take all that shit off. Get your ass humble and get in front of them people. And then see how they act. Doesn't matter what come out that mouth, how precious. It's more precious than rubies, the Bible said. It said the riches of the world is not even to be compared with the words that's coming out of my mouth. But guess what? They don't see that value. They don't even know how. Look at that. Look at what I'm saying to you, little flock. Think about this. If the grandson of right thought was on this page right now, and I was doing giveaways, and I just had stupid big ass jewels, like y'all was looking at this page like, wait a second. This guy got a big giant ass ruby. He had to putting in a wagon. And he's like, I'm just going to give it away to anybody. The first come, first serve. First person puts their hand up, I'm going to throw this ruby to you and you can have it. how many people would come to my page? Big ass diamonds, $200,000 diamond, $1 million diamond in my hand. And I'm going, first come, first serve. Whoever catches it can have it. And I just start tossing shit to you guys. How many followers do you think I'd have? Look at what I'm saying to you guys. Do y'all actually hear that? Do you hear what a human being has become? A fucking monkey waiting for you to bring his bread to him and toss it to him so he can run off with it in his hand? Do you hear that that's what you've become? I just proved it to you. Look how you guys would flock if I were doing that. If I got some big golden wedges, that each wedge of this gold costs $500,000. If I had 10 wedges of that and I said, I'm giving to the first 10 people, how many people do you think would flock to this page every day to try to get one of those items? Y'all know the answer. Well, what I'm actually giving here at the School of the Marvelous Light is way more valuable than any of that I just described to you. And then do you see people flocking? See how they don't know how to judge. I'm proving to you they don't. They all read the Bible. All of you here read the Bible, right? Does the Bible say that wisdom is not comparable to riches of the world? Rubies are not comparable to wisdom. Everything that can be desired, the Bible said, is not comparable. So that means if you anything you want, it is a piece of shit in comparison to the wisdom that God is offering you. So then if you get the wisdom God is offering you, then you got riches that are more valuable than diamonds, gold, and all of that shit wrapped together in one. If you took all the gold, rubies, diamonds, and every damn thing all else precious from this earth and put it in a big ball, wisdom would still outweigh it. And I'm giving it to you for free every single day. And if you guys say that I'm not, then ask Abba. See what Abba has to say. I gladly ask anybody. Ask Abba who I am. Ask Abba, do I speak the truth when I talk? Ask Abba if I was sent. Ask Abba who sent me. Ask Abba all about me. Ask. That's strange to the world, isn't it? You're telling me to straight up ask God if you're deceiving me? That's what I'm saying to you. That's what I want you guys to do. Ask God who I am so God can tell you. But you got to ask. Ask and you shall receive, he said. Knock and you shall find. I told you I got the key of David. Do you guys want it? The key that unlocks a door that you can walk right through and nobody else can close the shit once it's been opened by you. It's a portal key. It opens portals. You guys don't know you can travel through portals? You don't? How did I tell you I got out when I got locked up? I created a portal and then I walked through it. That's the key of David that I used. See, that's the key of David that I used. And I walked right through the portal because there is no evidence that I did it. So they'll never know how I got out. They'll never know how because they don't know the operant power that's working in me. They don't know it because I'm hidden when I'm doing it. I'm just looking at the officers. My weapons are not carnal. So you will not see me swinging, sweating, jumping up and down, or dodging. You will see me stand still and work from the inside. I'm slicing and dicing and stomping these niggas down like fine wine when I'm done. My garments are draped when I'm through. And all I did was stood there on the outside because you judge outward appearance. So I got wise on you hoes and I learned how to be subtle and work from the inside where you can't see. So you don't know when the blade come across your shit. Your head is just off before you realize I had even had a sword. That's right. That's right. That's right. What is a wolf in sheep's clothing to a lamb in sheep's clothing? To a lion in lamb's clothing? Huh? Light work. That's what that nigga is. I'm going to toss him. And then I'm going to tackle him. And as he's scurrying, trying to get away, getting back to his pack, I'm going to grab him by his back and I'm going to bite until his spine crushes into many small splintered bones. And as he's screaming and howling in agony, I'm going to lift him up while he's in my mouth before his comrades, which are his little puppies. They're going with their tails tucked between their leg, and I'm going to squeeze his fucking spine until it snaps in my mouth and he dies and they all piss on themselves and go running and scattering. Is that descriptive enough for you? Well, no, grandson, because you're just standing there. See, little flock? That's the power I want you to tap into. Did you hear the zeal? Do you hear the power? Do you hear how that's going on inside of me? You think you can stop me from believing? Look at Abraham. You think you can stop me from believing I'm going to have my son because I'm old? So what tells you that I'm old, deceiver? Watch what this deceiver is going to say. Well, look at you. See? Look at your wife there. She's too old. See, that's all he's got. Told you. So then guess what? When his children start talking to me, little flock, listen good here. Watch the relief you're going to feel once you understand this. When his children start talking to you, then you automatically know what to do, don't you? And he doesn't ever know you did it because you did it inside yourself. And what did you do? You disagreed. Politely. I beg to differ. Hey man, if you go in there, you're gonna die. I just beg to differ. I am alive. How can I die if I am alive? That don't make no sense to me. I know, because you're a Neanderthal. That makes sense to you? Yeah, I thought it would. Now go grab your stick and wave it at your enemies and go, and see if they get scared of you and run away. Ooh, look at him. He's slobbing at the mouth and waving a stick. He's so scary. I don't want to mess with him. He's crazy. No, that doesn't work. I will walk up to you, take your stupid little stick out of your hand and break that bitch over my knee and throw it into the creek and watch you whimper and look at me with a confused look on your face. Y'all want me to keep going, little flock? Y'all want me to keep going? I hope y'all understand what I mean about worshiping the Father in spirit and truth. That's actually, I'm worshiping God. This is the praise that God has been so long without. This is what he made us for. It's hard to get this praise when you subject a people to slavery that are supposed to give that praise. This praise that I'm giving. This is the praise that Abba wants. Someone who is braggadocious about his name, because that's all I'm using to conquer niggas. That's it. His name is in me. See, if whatever's here calls you to do with this, in other words, make you do. He sealed the servants with the name of the living God in their forehead. So then that's what they do. They do what they see the Father do. I put a rope around Abba. He's bound. Abba be like, I am free. And the rope is just gone. He proved that through Samson so many times. He proved it through Samson so many times. He proves his glory through his servants. That's how he does it. And through his name. So like I said, if you throw something at me and you try to throw something at this person that you see with your eyes, you're throwing it at God. God is he who exists. Not this flesh and blood body. God is he who exists. That's his name. So then when I speak about anything existing, who must I be speaking about? But see, you don't know that. So you think you can put God in jail. You think you can hurt God's feelings. You think you can make God afraid. And you don't even know it because you don't know his name. So you're fighting a losing battle, see, with someone who does know. That's why I want all you guys to be little flock. So that when he sends his agents to you, you really know how to fight them. Because I've watched you guys for years not know how. I guess you guys thought filming them was exposing their dark deeds. I've been gang stalked, man. Look at the car right there. Look at these people. Look at that. Look how my family treat me. Look how my teachers all did me through school. I was always ostracized. That's not how you fight. That's not how you fight. So then what the hell are we supposed to do on this battlefield? Bitch, moan, whine, and cry while we got mortar rounds blasting around us. We got IEDs we need to be looking out for. We got friends that we need to have a back right now. So then what do you think we should do? Get in the fight or stay here and complain about how the enemy has treated us? You're in Iraq wondering why some Iraqis hate you. It's probably because you're in their land, little flock. That's probably why they hate you. But I don't get it, grandson. Wasn't I supposed to be friends with these people? Wasn't I supposed to get along with these people? Which world are you from? I'm from the world of fairness. I just want love and peace, man. Well, then you're from the new world. You're living in the old. So then how you think they're going to treat you? Like an enemy. Right then. So then overcome their evil with good. When they become your enemy and try to cast out things about you, this is going to happen to you. You didn't pay that bill. You're going to be out on the street, man. You're going to this. When people try to do shit like that to you, you straight up use the Father's name to protect yourself. That's what I'm telling you all. I don't use anything else. See, I don't deviate, nor do I think twice. I run right to his name. That's what he means about fearing his name. That's what he actually means about doing things in his name. Doing it the way I would. That's why I put my name on your head so that you could do it. That's what I put it there for. So now you can know the right thoughts to do the right things. Because you can't do shit without thinking first. See there, little flockulators? So it would be wise that you fill your mind with right thoughts so that when the situation comes that looks wrong, you can think right about it and be set free. Because the right thought is the truth concerning it. And the truth is in you. Your choice, your decision. And the only reason you won't make a choice that benefits you and instead accept a choice that harms you is because you don't have faith. Can y'all grasp that and understand what the grandson is saying to you right there? The only reason you won't give yourself another option other than what the world is giving you is because you don't have faith. You're allowing what you see around you to conform your image of your mind to it. He says don't. The image of your mind is what you will experience. So why conform your image of your mind to what some enemy has told you? That's what enemies try to do. You don't know war? They can come saying all kind of shit to you. By this time tomorrow, all of you will be dead. Their body parts will be strewn across. Y'all didn't hear about Goliath, how he was talking so much shit? What happened when David got up there? People forget he talked shit back. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all to do, just like I was talking shit back there. David did. See, I'm proving always who I is. I'm trying to tell y'all that. And I'm telling you the right way to fight. You can sling a rock right between the eyes of what your enemy has said to you by saying, oh, I'm free. If they put you in bonds, I am free. That's that stone. Pow! Now just watch him fall. It may take a few days before he does. He might be ornery and hard-headed, but that don't mean that stone didn't sink in and his ass is going to fall eventually. So just wait while he falls. But it don't look like you're falling, grandson. How many times I gotta tell you, don't focus on what you see? Oh yeah, a whole lot of times. I know, I understand. Every day. Because every day, there's enough evil in it. Now, do you know what evil is? Evil is things that happen to you that show you outward appearance to make your feelings change. So that you can conform your image and your mind to it instead of to the Father. And being transformed with a powerful mind and might. See there, little flock? It didn't say just power. It said power and might. How would that look to you? Like how the grandson was talking back there? That's how it would look and sound. But you got to be able to judge the heart to know that, little flockulators. So y'all be blessed today. Silawam Mr. Allah.